covering all 4 major sports in the District of Champions. It's the DC Crossover Podcast with your hosts, Mike Cerrone and Ben Simpson.
Hello and welcome to episode 162 of the DC Crossover. I am Ben Simpson. That is Mike Cerrone. Glad to be back. Follow the show on social media at the DC Crossover and at Cerrone16 and on TikTok, DC Crossover Podcast. We'll probably start dropping some TikTok exclusive content to kind of generate some of the buzz there. So look out for later in the week. We talked about this last episode, our $10 to $10K, which we'll get into later because it did not work out so well for this week or this previous week. But we will be giving out some picks for Thursday Night Football for this week, and that will be exclusive to, call it Twitter and TikTok. So follow those channels so you can get that content.
I'll throw it on Instagram as well. But
yeah.
You know, Instagram is basically the TikTok videos.
Yeah, it is funny.
I don't edit it that much on there, though.
It's funny. Yeah, Abby has Instagram. I mean, I have Instagram too, but she watches the Instagram Reels, and I'm a TikTok guy. So, like, you know, she'll send me a video on Instagram, and I'll be like, yeah, I saw that like a week ago on TikTok. You know, like Instagram Reels, it's all the same recycled stuff. You're exactly right. So we'll put it up on there to help those betting fanatics that are out there just like we are. But
try to average 2 a week. We'll try to average 2 a week. You know, got to keep it going.
Yeah, for sure. So it is good to be back. Busy night in sports tonight as college basketball tips off. I mean, I feel like I say this every episode, but like this is the best time of year because it's like, all right, it's getting a little bit, even though it was warm this weekend, it's going to get colder out at some point. So there's really no reason to be out and about. Yeah. You stay inside, you bundle up, and you have college basketball. You got NBA going, you got hockey going, you got football almost every night of the week in the NFL, and then of course you got college football all the time as well. And it's just the best. It's just the best, and I'm excited. I mean, obviously George Mason here locally with this being a DMV show.
Who are they playing, by the way?
They have Monmouth tonight.
Yeah, because I know where Monmouth is staying.
Really?
All my errands today. Saw the big ass tour bus.
We should have thrown some stink. I was gonna say stink bugs. I don't think that would have done much. Some stink bombs on the bus.
Stink bugs. That would have been gross. Yeah, they're staying at the Marriott. Now, I don't like it matters. I mean, the bus is right on 50. Right. They're staying at the Marriott, right next to Fair Oaks Mall.
Oh wow. Okay. I mean, that's not far from me. I mean, might as well take a little trip over there and pull some hijinks. Yeah, Mason tips off tonight. I mean, you got everybody. Basically, everybody in college basketball plays tonight. It's crazy. Michigan State plays JMU tonight, which means I can't bet on the game because they're a Virginia team. So that weird college rule. Hate that. But it's gonna be fun. It's college basketball is a fun one to bet on for sure. I'm
going to bring out my stats.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. So. I did hit a couple parlays this weekend, which made me happy. That's nice. One of them was one that I tailed you, but I didn't do the exact same one that you did. There was one difference on it. But I think we both got it anyways. It was the one where we needed the catches for Alvin Kamara, the 4+ receptions. Yeah, that one hit.
Well, no, mine didn't hit because I had it at 4.5.
Oh, okay. I had 4+ receptions.
Perfect for you.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was I mean, it was a plus 448 4-leg parlay. Hit that one. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice one. I was a little pissed off about that. But just in general, I mean, dating back to just Wednesday, so I'm down 45 yesterday, which sucked. Mainly because I put an extra same game parlay on the Germany game.
Yeah.
That wasn't even close to hitting. I mean, that thing was so far off. I mean, it was like I was in the Pacific Ocean. But Thursday I ended up cashing in 280 in profit. Saturday was a 108 profit because I hit a basketball one. So since, let's see, the last week, I'm plus 320 up. And then if you go by, let's see, where's that other part on this? I love this app. but sometimes it gets confusing.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So
Pickett app, not a sponsor. We got to get them sponsoring the show.
That would be nice. Now they probably have no idea who anybody is on this app because I don't think there's anybody that runs it. I think it's just all algorithms.
It's very chaotic.
So my leagues going on with betting, my NBA plus 173, NFL plus 587, golf plus 400, NCAA basketball plus 192. But football, my God, NCAA football, oh my God, it's literally like I'm on a battlefield during the Civil War where like no one wins.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh my God, it's literally covered in red. It's pathetic, but I love this app though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you are a gambler, we do recommend checking out the Pikkit app, Pikkit. Again, they're not a sponsor of the show, but they do a good job. I agree with you. I think they definitely.
There's a funny bit though, by the way. So my buddy, he always liked to talk trash and likes to say a lot of trash, like, oh yeah, and of course Heineke, who he loves, same guy by the way, who we talked about last year.
Oh yeah, okay.
He loves to talk trash, like, oh man, I'm so good at betting and stuff like that. And he's like, dude, you lost those parlays by one, like, still a loss. And I'm like, okay, first of all, kiss my ass. Second of all, I think it's hilarious because my other buddy said, well, dude, show us your record. Like, let's see what you got.
Yeah, put up or shut up there. Yeah.
I said, here's the Pikkit app. You can actually go on there and find all your records and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I want to share my information. I said, share your information.
Oh no.
Like, first of all, there's no money information on there. It's literally just analytics.
Right.
It's like
so straight data.
Like, yeah, I'm sure. But the funny thing is so I'm in a group with Jess and a couple, one of her coworker friends, and then her husband, and we call ourselves the Quack Pack.
Nice. I like
the Mighty Ducks, right?
Yeah.
And also, I was wearing a Mighty Ducks sweatshirt that day. And anyways, pretty stupid. But all of a sudden, I looked at that and I started sharing my bets, and they're all like trying to tail it. So I keep putting a GIF of like Tails from Sonic.
A lot of responsibility, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, at the same time, though, I mean, I've been winning some, but
yeah, it's true.
I will say one of the funny bits is that somebody did tail my bet and they won, but he adjusted it a couple things, so the profit went way down. And I was like, dude, you can't do that, man. You got to go big or go home. You know how I am. I know. Never text thread. That's how it is.
I know. And hey, look, credit to you. Like, nobody can really talk S about your betting right now because you're on fire. So like, like it or hate it, the method's working on the Cerrone side of things. So he is the parlay king. I fully tip my hat to you on those. And I'll occasionally tail some of yours for sure. Right now I'm ice cold on NBA. I keep missing my NBA parlays by like one. Hot tip for those NBA bettors though, any sort of Jalen Duren rebounds props, always bet the over because that dude just pulls down boards.
Is he the guy with the dreads?
Yeah, he's got like short dreads. Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was a different picture I saw then.
Well, there's the Isaiah Stewart, and then there's Bagley, and then there's Duren all underneath. But Duren is the guy. He always, anytime I do like last night, it was 8.5 rebounds was part of the parlay, and it was like, the guy got like 13 or something. So always look at Duren rebound props for the Pistons. Plenty to get to on the show today. Commanders talk. I've got a food ranker list that I want to get some of your thoughts on. But so before we get to the food, though, let's briefly head into Commander Land because this is a happy day. 4-5 Commanders are now. I mean. And I know we talked a lot about this last episode, and I still will stick with that opinion. Not that things can't change. I still would not get too excited about some sort of playoff run with this team. We talked about this a lot last week, so we don't need to dive into it that much. But still, this was a nice win, especially on the road. I think I read the Commanders / Redskins hadn't beat New England on the road since 96. Or something like that. I mean, that's
it's a long time.
Yeah, that is a long time.
Hey, you know what I was thinking though is that last night the Bills and the Bengals, it was in Cincinnati. was that like a rematch or something like that they did it with the scheduling? Because typically
Right.
you don't play an opponent from a different division like home 2 years in a row.
Yeah, no, you're right. That must be something like that because that doesn't make any sense. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with what you're saying.
Yeah,
With the away and home stuff. Typically, if we play the Lions at home this year, and then say we play them, just so happens we play them next year after the scheduling works, we don't play them in DC again.
right.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, weird scheduling there. There must be a reason behind that. I don't know, but yeah, this was a game that New England was favored going into it. I think the final line ended up being 2.5. So it's not like it was some big large line. It's always, no matter how the Patriots are records wise, it's always somewhat of a challenge to win in Foxborough. I mean, they do tend to play well there. Of course, we didn't have the typical November New England weather. I mean, it was like 70 degrees outside or whatever, so you didn't really have to deal with the elements. But instead, you had a tight game throughout. Howell, pretty brilliant again. I mean, this is the first time in his short career now, back-to-back 300 plus passing yard games, consecutive 300 plus games, and then you had some plays like the pick late in the first half. That was obviously a tough one, but at the end of the day, he gets it done. A big pick obviously late in the game by Martin, and a nice game from Jeremy Pringle, a name we don't see too often. He made a couple nice catches, especially on that Pringle.
Is it Breon Pringle?
Oh, is it Breon? Isn't there a Jeremy Pringle somewhere or something? Where did I get the name?
Was it the inventor of the chip?
Maybe Byron Pringle.
Yeah, I think it's Byron. What did I say, Byron? I don't.
You said Breon. You were close, but yeah, I mean, I'm the one that said Jeremy. So
where did I get Breon from?
I mean, you switched the R and the Y. That's where you get Breon. But don't worry, my cough won't be as bad as it was last episode. Pringle only has 7 catches on the year, but yeah. Anyways, this was a good road win. I mean, for obviously the Pats aren't that great, but still, neither are the Commanders, and they still went on the road, and now they're one game below 500. So you got to hand it to them,
Yeah, and then also you're looking at John Keim, who tweeted out, which is actually really cool to see. 20 hours ago, he said in the last 5 games, Sam Howell has thrown for 1,510 yards, most in the NFL. He has also thrown for 10 touchdowns during that time, which is tied for the most as well, which right there, that's basically 2 touchdowns a game. But you have to look at it this way. People kind of, here's the thing, is that those fans that we talked about last week, who are the fair weather fans and this kind of stuff, the people that are fans of the team that are, again, part of the Heineke Hive and all that kind of crap, I got a couple texts from people that said, like, yeah, but he's the most sacked quarterback. What does that tell you then? The guy's getting sacked all the time, right? He's getting sacked all the time, yet he but he's tied for 6th, at least prior to the New England game.
Yeah.
He was tied for 6th in yards per game, and touchdowns. Okay. That includes people like Trevor Lawrence. That includes people like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and all those cats. So you're looking at it and saying, what does that tell you about Sam Howell? The guy gets sacked every 2 seconds. Now it's getting better. I will say that. It is getting better, but at the same time, you have to look at it and say, this guy has to be considered to be the guy.
Yeah.
Because he's gone out there. And again with Taylor Heineke bit, okay? Everyone liked Taylor Heineke. Me and you had our own thoughts about him and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to Taylor Heineke, he only dreamt, dreamed, or whatever the word is, of throwing over 225 yards consistently.
Right.
And you even saw it on his Hail Mary throw. He couldn't even throw it to the end zone yesterday in the Falcons game. So the biggest part that I look at is the sole fact that Sam Howell is going out there and chucking it around the backyard every 2 seconds and giving Terry McLaurin a shot. Jahan Dotson's finally showing up. Curtis Samuel, now I believe he was out yesterday, but the thing about it is, or inactive, I should say, the biggest thing I have to say about Sam Howell is that people need to start putting him on notice, because this guy has an arm. He can run for a first down if he needs to. He made Smart plays yesterday in the sense that there was a couple times. Now, of course, again, I didn't get to see a lot of the first half because I was out, which kind of sucked, and we already talked about that. That's a whole entire illegal thing in the first place. But the biggest thing when it comes down to Sam Howell is that he's making smart decisions and growing as a commander, growing as an NFL player, growing as an adult. And Eric Bieniemy is starting to try to find that combination to help him out. And my overall thought is that this guy has to be considered the future for this team. Now, who knows what's going to happen with the coach? Who knows what's going to happen with draft picks and free agency and all that kind of stuff? But he has been slinging it around like we're playing backyard football left and right. And I'm loving exactly everything what I'm seeing.
Yeah, he's earned because like the whole thing with Heineke that we had for a long time was like he had never fully earned the QB1 like spot, like where it's like this is his spot. We don't need to go get somebody else. I mean, with Heineke, that obviously the Wentz experiment that didn't work out, and some of these other guys where
it was the wins that we were talking about though. He was winning, that was great. Yeah. But he wasn't winning because of him. That's what we're talking about.
Right. He didn't earn that spot. He didn't earn the full QB1. There's nobody, you're not looking over your shoulder every week sort of status that we feel like Sam Howell deserves to have. I mean, we feel like he deserves to be the guy where it's like, hey, next year's draft and offseason and things like that, we don't obviously nothing wrong with getting a backup, but we don't need a guy who's got a battle. We don't need a battle for the position. We can spend those that money and we can spend those draft picks on places we actually need help, which is offensive line and some of these other spots, defensive line now that all your guys are gone. So some of those decisions now, in theory, that's where your focus should be versus the quarterback position. So, by the way, side note, we won't get into the specific event you were at this weekend, but I did want to say that like it is something to consider when it's fall and you're scheduling like these events and parties and weddings and things like that. It's like it seems silly. It's like, oh yeah, sports aren't everything, but you gotta know that like scheduling something in the fall, in the middle of football season, is a very risky maneuver. It really is.
Fractures relationships.
You're gonna have some people because you're gonna have a contingent of people there that aren't thrilled that they're there and they're not at home watching the game, and you're gonna have a lot of the phone checking and things like that at your event. It's very a risky thing to do, especially if we're talking about like, it's one thing if it's like, hey, let's knock this out in the morning before 1 o'clock kickoffs and things like that. It's like, have at it. Or if it's like, evening, okay, I guess. Like you're still probably missing a Sunday night football game, which is usually fun to watch, but that's only one game. But if you're doing something around 1 o'clock on a Sunday in football season, you're asking for a whooping. It's just not a good idea. It's really not.
Well, Jess ended up telling me a few days ago. She was like, "So we got that thing on Sunday, thing." And
that's a dagger.
And I said, "Yeah, what time is it?" Like 1:30. She said, "What time do the Redskins play? Commanders, whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. Who cares?
They're Redskins in your house, I guess."
Yeah. So she's like, "What time do they play?" I said, 1. She's like, "Ooh, that's not good." She's a Steelers fan, so she watches our game.
Yeah.
But she also, and now, like I told you, she's basically addicted to betting just like I am because she got a taste of the good life with a few different bets that she won.
That's what happens.
Yeah, I know. I told her the other day, I said, "I think you're addicted to betting." She's like, "No, you are." And I said, "Yeah, but when you lose, you're upset." Like that's what addicted to betting
to the life.
Yeah. But yeah, when she said that, because obviously the Steelers played on Thursday, so she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm good." But then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Hey, I wasn't too thrilled about that because I think you were appalled that I wasn't in front of my
disgusted. TV. I was pissed. So it's like it's a bye week for my Lions, and I'm here watching. That's the one thing. That's the one time you can get away with it if it's like you check that bye week schedule and you're like, oh, this is the weekend where, hey, honey, why don't we go to your favorite, why don't we go
apple cider,
apple picking, apple picking, and making cider and whatever. That's what the bye week is for. That is what our nation was founded
I'll tell you. I'll tell you one part about a bye week.
Yeah.
Is did you see? And I know I mentioned this to you off air. Did you see Will Levis's parents at the game? Did you see them show Will Levis's parents at the game on Thursday?
I don't think so.
Now, I'm not sure if anyone picked this up, but they were like, and again, this was at Heinz Field.
Okay.
Formerly known as Heinz Field.
Right.
So Jess has been there a bunch.
Right.
And she's sitting there and she's talking about it. And I said, wait a second, rewind that. And Will Levis's parents were like 3 rows from the tippy top of the stadium.
Whoa.
I'm talking to. Did you see a picture of it?
No. I wasn't able to find anything, but yeah.
Literally, they were so far from the field. I don't even know if they knew where Will Levis's number was.
How is that possible?
I literally told her, and she was like, I know exactly where that is in the stadium. And I mean, put it this way. It was dark where they were sitting, it's not standing, because there was no lights on that part of the stadium. I mean, what in the world? Like, you're taking a bye week right there because your son, who's a quarterback of the Tennessee Titans, is out there and he can't get you tickets anywhere close.
That's wild.
That's ridiculous.
That doesn't make. I mean, like, it's one thing. All right, like, we can't put them up in a suite or whatever. They're all taken. It's like, all right, blah blah blah. But like, you got to think that you could give them some better seats than that. Like, I mean, we're talking about. I mean, we're talking about this, starting NFL quarterback. Like, okay, Will Levis, he's not making, Matthew Stafford money or anything like that, but he's an NFL quarterback. He's got the hookup. I mean,
well, you would think that he would actually have some type of connection with the team he plays and quarterbacks for.
I mean, they give him family tickets, right? Like that.
I think they all get like 10 tickets, something like that.
Yeah. I don't get it. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't see that, but that's embarrassing. Like that's rough for everybody, because like it's rough for Will Levis because people are going to be clowning on. It's rough for his parents, obviously, because like they're climbing Mount Everest just to get to their seats, and then like it's just embarrassing.
They're like. And here's Will Levis's parents. They have their binoculars out.
Yeah, they're like, I think he's down there. I think he's playing. I couldn't tell you.
I see somebody out there that looks like our son, but I guess we'll have to get in our airplane to come down there.
It
was
crazy.
Weird, dude. It was weird.
That is weird. No,
and it stuck out. Like I said, I mean, I'm doing same game parlays every single damn day. It feels like.
Yeah.
But it's like when I was watching every single play, I said, "Oh my god!" Like his parents are sitting there cheering, and they must have been cheering for the play that just happened 40 seconds ago.
Right.
The eyesight didn't compute it because it was so far away.
Yeah, that is rough. That is not at that point. It's like, just watch the game from your hotel. I mean, if you're the parents there, it's like, what's the point? I'll meet you after the game, Will. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Commanders coming up. They'll be heading to Seattle next weekend.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one.
Yeah, that might be a little rough. And then you're at home against the Giants, on the road in Dallas, home against Miami, at LA, at the Jets, home against the Niners, and then finishing up home against the Cowboys. So a lot to be decided here at the end of the. Over these next 8 games. I mean, it's going to get interesting. I mean, I still will contend that this team is not going to be making the playoffs this year. But I love what we're seeing.
Currently, they're the first ones out. They're the first ones out right now.
And I just think, like, I mean, you got, again, Seattle on the road in Dallas, Miami game. I mean, I Niners. There just seems to not be a path in, which is why I think the focus should be on getting your house right for next season. I mean, making sure, like, giving Howell plenty of time to continue developing,
especially if you're Ron Rivera, getting your house right.
Yeah.
Your new house.
Put it up on the market, there, Ron. You're not sticking around. Let's move into a little bit of Survivor talk. And again, if you're not a Survivor fan, go ahead and skip ahead. But for those of us who are Survivor fans, what a roller coaster season so far. You really have had some of the highest highs and some of the lowest lows this season. Yeah. You've had episodes where like nothing happens and then somebody quits, and then you've had what happened last week where just an absolute incredible finish where my boy is still alive. Caleb plays his shot in the dark, which basically it's a newer thing they introduced in the new era of Survivor, where if you feel like you have a shot of being eliminated, you lose your vote and you roll a die, and I think it's like you have a 1 in 6 chance of staying in the game. And so basically, like, you pull a scroll out of a hat, out of 6 scrolls, and you give it to Jeff, and then it will either say
one. Is it just one?
Only one says safe.
Yeah. But I'm saying, is it only one that you can play, or do you have to find it?
No, so everybody gets one. Everyone starts the game with their own shot in the dark. You can give it. You can give it to other people. Like, you can give away your shot in the dark if you want to. Like we saw in an earlier episode that Emily said, you can take my shot in the dark, so you know that I'm serious about this.
She was handing it or something like that.
No. So I think it's like a physical dice or something, a die or something like that.
Okay.
Anyways, it's one of the things. So they've introduced it into New Era Survivor. We've seen it played over the last 3 or 4 seasons quite a bit. It's only hit twice. One of the times that somebody hit it, they didn't even need to play it. Nobody was voting for them, so it was kind of pointless. But this season, Caleb plays his shot in the dark, which means he's safe, and literally every other person had voted for him. And it was just an electric reveal. He was hyped. Even the people that voted for him were hyped. I mean, it was literally like a Kawhi Leonard shot to beat. To win the final, whatever.
Who they beat that year? The Spurs.
That was the Sixers. That was was the shot to beat Joel Embiid and the Sixers.
The Raptors. He was in the Raptors.
Yeah. So it's it was literally just unbelievable chaos, pandemonium. It was very cool. Just as a Survivor fan, it was all right, this is awesome. This is a really cool moment in the show. He stays in the game. Jay Maya gets eliminated, which. I mean, I know you've been watching this season. It's I don't know why everyone was gunning for her, because she seemed kind of weak and not really much of a player. So it was kind of why are you even targeting her? She's this tiny Indian girl that sings, I guess. But she got knocked out. And so things are interesting now, because now we're in the merge. Now this is when. Teams form and a lot happens. But right now, Caleb, Kendra, and Sifu, my 3, are still alive. Austin's still alive for you. And again, Austin's in great shape here. Nobody's voting for him so far. He's still got a bunch of advantages. So I think he'll stick around for a while. I think you have a really good shot of getting him to at least the final 3, maybe.
Well, see, here's the thing that I think that Caleb shot himself in the foot, because he started putting his foot in his mouth, using feet as analogies apparently now.
Yeah.
He put his foot in the mouth when he was well, I think I'm one of the the biggest targets out here, for everybody. And some people were like, what the hell? Why would you even say that about yourself? He's well, not strategy wise, just physical wise.
Right.
What? First of all, if you're one of the biggest targets, you master one thing and you're average at the other. So who knows if you're average at strategy, because we haven't seen your tribe has been losing every damn challenge.
Right.
So for me, I think he shot himself in the foot there. But when you're looking at the whole entire tribal council as a whole, I mean, here's the thing. I talked to somebody who listens to the show at work today, the music teacher, and she was like, "So you watch Survivor?" And I was like, "Yeah, I watched Survivor, and I saw tribal council and that kind of stuff." And this is the one thing that I differ. Survivor fans, compared to Big Brother fans.
Mm-hmm.
On Big Brother, okay, when they're doing the votes, obviously it's in secret, just same thing as Survivor is.
Yeah.
But when they go to the diary room, they sit there and they're like, "I'm going to vote for Bill," and then all of a sudden they're like, "Whoa," everyone's like, "Oh my God, this guy's voting for Bill. He's supposed to be voting for Aaron or something like that, right?" And then all of a sudden they come out and the guy's like, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I voted for Bill. He didn't say it, he votes for Bill, but he looks at him kind of gives him a little nod or whatever, a little pat on the leg or something like that when he sits back down on the couch. But for Survivor, if Jay really sat there and thought, I mean, hey, he can play a shot in the dark, he might have an idol. I don't understand why she doesn't say, all right, well, I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to try to vote for Sifu. I'm going to vote for, whoever. And it's I don't like Big Brother. That happens every 3 weeks. There's always a random a ghost vote out there that everyone's like, who the hell voted for this person? And then she could have easily pawned it off on Emily and said, yeah, I bet Emily did that because she was trying to, tell us or be on somebody's side or something.
Because they were former tribe mates and stuff. No, it's a great point, and it's something I've thought about as well, because it was literally like, it's pretty rare you'll have a full unanimous vote where literally every single vote, besides the guy, obviously, who was being voted against, but he couldn't even vote anyways because he played Shot in the Dark. So literally every vote was on him, was on Caleb. It is rare because of the fact that there was 12, 13 people left in the game. And so the only thing I thought of was, I guess, I mean, yeah, it would be big strategy coming into play where you'd have to lie and put it on somebody else, because like what you don't want to do is, let's say you do switch your vote to somebody else, and then Caleb does actually get voted off, and they find out it was you that voted differently than everybody else, then immediately you're a target. But you're right. If she could have tried to like switch it up and put some other strategy involved and all that sort of stuff. So,
because if you think about it, if she knew that he was going to get votes, okay, if you don't think anyone else, because obviously, he made a big scene and all this kind of stuff, and it's a big target and everyone was going to get him out. But if you thought that, then go into it having a strategy where, again, you need to start, especially at this time, you need to start building a resume. Because like you said, she's not a threat or anything like that. What is she going to say? The same spiel that everyone else says, like, well, I made an alliance and I stuck to that alliance and all the way to the final 3. And, well, what'd you do? Well, I was loyal, what else are you going to say?
She's not winning individual immunities out here.
Yeah.
She's not.
Yeah, you can't be an Aussie, be loyal, and win 7 different individual immunities or whoever the hell it is. Colby or something like that back in the day. You can't be that. So when you have to look at it and say, I got to do other stuff, I'll tell you right now, the person on Big Brother, Dr. Dan, I don't know if you know who that is.
No, I don't.
Dr. Dan, everyone called him, I don't think he was actually a doctor. I think they just called him Dr. Dan. But he won, like, he was on the show like 4 different times or 5 times, and he won three seasons or something like that. Like, he won a ton. And the funny thing is, because he deceived people a ton, always felt them or felt that they were safe and all that kind of stuff, made alliances left and right, and never got caught in the crosshairs to the point where it's like, you're looking at it and saying, this guy is like a natural Russell Hantz. Because Russell Hantz, going back to Survivor, never really won a ton of individual stuff, but he would literally just master the strategy part of it where he's like, well, I'm going to, have my team win, but I'm also going to backstab people and not give 2 Fs about it. Just like Johnny Fairplay back in the day.
Yeah.
So
lying about his dead grandma or whatever.
My grandma's dead. Oh, she's actually 50 years old and she's working at Walmart. It's like the thing about it is you just don't see people use strategy enough because you have these quote unquote super fans, but they think like as long as I'm nice, people aren't going to vote me out and I'm going to fly under the radar. No, you have to master a certain part of the game, which is the strategy part, and you have to go out there and do a little swinging. Like, because say no one knows who the vote is. She makes it to the final and says, hey, you remember that time that Sifu got voted out and no one knew who it was? That was me.
Oh, yeah. No, you need, like you said, if you're not the strongest challenge player, you need to have some of those strategy plays where, I was able to swing a vote this way or that way, or I was able to convince this person to not play their idol and we voted them out, all this sort of stuff. No, strategy plays big.
Big play would have been if she said, Austin, I wrote down your name, he's out.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been crazy. No, I agree. I think the new era Survivor players tend to not be as ruthless as some of the players were back in the day. And I think that works against them because I think you do, as we've seen, in old school Survivor, you do kind of need – it is a play. It is a way to possibly make it far in the game. It is to be ruthless. You get your close allies, and then everybody else you just take them down left and right throughout. So we'll see. This was, as you said, Caleb has a big target on his back. I don't think they would immediately turn around and vote him out this coming week. I got to think that either he wins immunity or something along those lines happens, or somebody else creates themselves as a target. Because that's a big thing about Survivor. It's like in college basketball. Survive in advance. Like you're on the outs and you survive one tribal council, you could be in the game the rest of the way because like suddenly something happens. Somebody pisses off the wrong person that week, or you luck yourself into a individual immunity win, and the target moves. So that's why this game's great. So
what they should do is have Drew, Austin, and I think her name is Dee.
Yeah.
Team up with Caleb and Emily.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, the numbers obviously stay with 3 Reba people.
Right.
And then obviously you say, hey, we're going to have a strong tribe because Emily is loyal to Caleb.
Yeah.
Caleb and Austin are arguably the 2 best athletes,
best physical players for sure.
So you have to think about it and say like, well, we're going to take down individual immunity 9 times out of 10 for the most part. But you know who I've been thinking about? What is his name? Billy or what's the Boston guy's name? I always forget his name.
Oh God, I forget his name too because it's like he's such a generic Boston white guy. But yeah. So I know you're talking about that. Yeah.
So he's like a flip flopper to me because not in the sense of his gameplay, but more so because I don't know if I like him or I don't because
same here. I don't know.
He's good at challenges, stuff like that. And honestly, I was actually going to think about betting on Caleb and that guy in the challenge because I figured that the physical part, it didn't look too demanding to the point where, because think about it also, they had to get over that boulder and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, lifting Sifu up and whatnot. I think Caleb and that guy, Mr. Boston, could have easily lifted up all the women, and then they just have each other. But it's like, I don't know. I was thinking about that, but like I said, I don't know if I like that guy or not.
I don't know either. I don't know because sometimes he seems great. The other times he's like collapsing on the ground. And then I
don't know what's happening.
I agree. Where I don't necessarily fully know where his loyalties are at the end of the day because he's the type of guy that he'll tell you what you want to hear, and I don't know if he's actually strategizing or not. So we'll see. But no,
I like watching him in the challenges, but he's getting annoying at the tribe at the camps.
Yeah. No, he's got that thick Boston accent too.
It's getting worse too, by the way.
It is. I think
he was a little it was kind of like he was just visiting Boston. You know those videos where they're like one day listening to Coldplay, and then all of a sudden 4 days listening to Coldplay.
Yeah.
And then they start singing Clocks.
Yeah.
It's like what the hell?
And he used to be a big fat fatty too. Apparently lost all the weight. He used to be and
that's the quote unquote that's the reason why he's collapsing. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. I don't eat lunch and suddenly I'm on the floor that day. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Before we get into the Daily Dozen, I did want to hit up. I want to see how this list hits you. So this is Ranker's best chips in the world list, and so I just want to go through the top 10 here, and I want to see your thoughts on these, and I'll share mine as well, of course. We'll go 10-1, obviously. Number 10 on the list, Funyuns. Are you a Funyuns guy at all?
I do like the Funs. And honestly, they're not great, but they're if they're there in a vending machine or something like that, and there's nothing else that's really gonna hit the spot, and there's nothing else something out of order or they haven't refilled it lately.
Right.
I'll go for a bag of Funyuns. Now, I'm not gonna overspend for Funyuns. I rather eat my left arm than a bag of Funyuns.
Yeah,
over,
it's just not it's not
other options, but it's 10 is a suitable spot.
Okay, and I've never had. They also apparently make a flaming hot Funyun.
Not as great. Not as great.
Oh, you've had it, and then they make a spicy queso one.
The problem with a flaming hot Funyun is it's too dense to the point that the dust seeps through it, and you could literally get a pressure washer of dust and just do that thing, and it won't keep anything of it. It's just colored now at this point.
Number 9, Lay's sour cream and onion. The classic Lay's sour cream and onion. These are always ones where I'll eat it, of course. I mean, I'll eat almost anything.
Right.
And there are some people that swear by sour cream and onion. They're like, that is my chip. I think there are better options. If you put a bag in front of me, I'll probably eat it all. But I've never necessarily been a diehard sour cream and onion guy.
Yeah, I mean, sour cream and onion, like you said, I'm not going to seek it out. I'm not going to really go and sit there and say, yeah, this is it for me. I'm set for life. But at the same time, if I'm, put it this way, if it's not Super Bowl, but if it's because I'm definitely preparing for that.
Ooh,
But if it's NFL Sunday and I'm like, man, I need a little nom in my life, and that's what's in there. Okay, I'll eat a few chips.
That's
of
a
that.
good mix it up chip where it's
Yeah.
like, all right, I don't want to give away other ones on the list, but like, yeah, if you're like, I don't want this or that, like, throw in a bag of sour cream and onion. Not a bad
sure.
option. This is a little bit surprising to me. Number 8 on the list, Cool Ranch Doritos. They're down at number 8.
Well,
do you agree that you'd think that they would maybe be a little bit higher on this list?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that. So my favorite Dorito ever was the Blazing Buffalo, I believe they were called.
Okay.
And they were in a light blue bag. It was like as blue as the sky. And honestly, they stopped making them. Now I haven't seen a bag of that in years, so obviously it ain't coming back. But I believe it was Blazing Buffalo. It was Buffalo something.
Yeah, I see Blazing Buffalo and Ranch.
And that thing was money. And the problem is they stopped making them.
Like, oh, it says notify me. So yeah, it must be that. Yeah, they must not make them anymore. So you have to be like, email me if this ever comes back.
Yeah, is it a light blue bag?
Yeah. Blazing Buffalo and Ranch.
That thing was
sounds incredible.
I mean, it was. Oh my god, it was amazing. And they stopped making those, but now it's my new favorites are the Flamin' Hots, both of them actually. But it's just too low. I mean, you gotta have that's a classic.
Yeah, that's a classic. I'm shocked by kind of what's ahead of it. And by the way, I found a picture of the Blazing Buffalo and Ranch, and you can tell it's old because on the bag it says "Get exclusive Madden 17 Ultimate Team Packs."
See, I told you that was. I mean, she's 2017, 2017. If that was the last time it was out, I mean I thought it was even longer than that.
That's you sitting there playing Madden 17 with your bag of Blazing Buffalo and Ranch chips. That sounds like a good evening to me. Number 7, Pringles Sour Cream and Onion. So to me, I think this is a little bit of a crime having Pringles Sour Cream and Onion be higher than Cool Ranch Doritos, in my opinion.
Yes.
And same thing about what I said about the other sour cream and onion, where, and I'll be honest, like when I was a kid, I mean, I was more into Pringles than I am now as an adult. Obviously, like, there's nothing wrong with Pringles. They're always going to be good, but I'm telling you, they're another one where it's like, I don't really go out and buy Pringles these days. Like, I'll buy other bags of chips over the tube of Pringles a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only time I ever, because Jess's favorite chip, I believe, is a Pringle. Okay. So, honestly, this mic sucks, man. I'm so annoyed. Like, I'm adjusting this stupid thing every damn day. It won't stop moving. Like look at this stupid thing. It's like I'm on like
swinging.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it's like, oh, my audio is all over the place right now. So and it's just tilting me. Anyways, so her, I might have to hold it up like this.
Yeah.
So her favorite, I think, is a Pringles. So when I do get Pringles, I end up getting the Scorching Buffalo.
Ooh,
and
dude, it good.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Yeah.
And I get a little tube of that myself. Yeah, I have to agree though. Pringles are like a B tier chip.
They're a B tier chip, 100%, 100%. They're which means like, hey, they're solid. They're solid. Like again, I don't shame the Pringles fanatics out there, but it's just there's just better options, man. There's better options. Number 6 on the list, Ruffles Cheddar Sour Cream. Now this is a very, in my opinion, underrated chip. I don't think this is necessarily a go-to for a lot of people. I get Ruffles Cheddar Sour Cream when I order from, I'm trying to think which sandwich shop it is. It might be Firehouse, but it's one of those, and like, I'm telling you, this is a very, very good chip. I'm glad to see it make this list because I think it's underrated. I don't hear that many people talking about the Ruffles cheddar and sour cream. It's a hearty chip. It's got some thickness to it, just like we do. And
how many C's in that thing?
It's got the nice little cheddar seasoning on it, and I like it.
You didn't answer my question.
Oh, how many? Oh, in the thick? Probably like 6 C's on the thick.
6 C's?
Yeah, maybe not. Okay, maybe that would be like a chip that's like this thick. No. So it's not that thick, but it's thicker than like your thin like Lay's chips that you get in the bag. Like it definitely has some heft to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you had the Ruffles cheddar sour?
I was gonna say something else, but
okay.
I withheld. I don't think I have Which one was it again? I don't even know what chip we're talking about.
Oh, we're talking about Ruffles cheddar and sour cream. It's got the red, white, and blue on the bag.
The cheddar I've had the cheddar. I like most anything that has cheddar in it. I'm in. I'll eat.
It's gonna be good because it's got the little extra dust here.
Right.
Speaking of cheese, number 5 on the list, Cheetos Puffs. So cheese puffs, basically.
Ow.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
They're like Funyuns. They're too dense.
For some reason, I mean, I just don't. I got one of the variety packs from Giant the other day of the chips to like mix it up with lunch, and like Cheeto Puffs was one of the things that came with, and like, yeah, dude, it's just not that good. First of all, they're so big that there's, especially if you get an individual bag, you get like 6 of them. That's all that can fit in the bag. And then two, like you said, like, I mean, yeah, it's a nice little crunch, when you bite in, but they're very light, they're very airy. There's not a whole lot to them. It's what I miss back in the day is the big old container of the cheese balls. That was money. Yeah. Yeah, that thing with a 10-gallon drum of Utz cheese balls, and you just grab the whole container and you do the method.
I have a funny story about that tub.
Oh yeah.
So this lady who was a teacher, she taught, I believe she taught geometry back in middle school. So she had some C's, okay?
Okay.
As we just mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And she had this tub, but it was like a tub that she subbed out, but it was the exact same container.
Okay.
And so you couldn't see inside. And she had it on her desk.
Yeah.
And so everyone, when we were in geometry, everyone was like, God, what is in that container?
Yeah.
Because we never knew. It was just sitting on the desk. And I mean, those tubs were big. I mean, it's bigger than my damn laptop.
They're huge. Yeah. Yeah.
So one day, one kid went to go open it up, and then all of a sudden she like yelled at him and scared him because apparently she was out of the room or something like that.
Yeah.
And he knocked it over.
Oh no.
And there was at least 150 mini M&M empty tubes poured out of it.
Oh my god!
Like,
dude, what kind of psychopath is storing M&M empty? So you're saying like empty?
Yes, they were empty. Like they were this big, and they were all empty because it went over the floor. And they make that ding, ding, when they're like those empty tubes are going everywhere.
Oh
and she flipped out, and the kid got sent to the office. We never saw from him ever again. He might be dead.
But also, it's like, what do you really tell the principal? Like, this guy knocked over my giant gallon of empty M&M tubes.
6-gallon tube, and that tub was ginormous. But everyone was like wondering for at least 6 months what the hell was in that tub. And she ended up yelling at him, and he knocked it over, and all those tubes went flying everywhere.
I have so many questions. Like, why not throw those tubes away? Was she like storing them all? Or were they recyclable? Was she trying to like be good for the environment? Like, I'm going to fill up this tube with all these little tubes, and then when it comes time to recycle, I'll go down into the plant and pour it in there or whatever. Like,
oh, dude,
that's so wild.
Again, like I said, she had an extra. I mean, she was a little on the heftier side.
Well, I would think those aren't salad wrappers in there.
Yeah, because the funny thing is that once all those things fell. Like me and some of my friends were sitting there like, well, now that you think of it, now we're talking about it, I did see her eat one like last Tuesday, and then the next kid's like, yeah, I saw her eat 3 at lunch one day. Like, so that we all like reclaiming time.
Was it the mini M&M ones, like the tubes that have the mini M&Ms?
Yep, they're like what, like 3.5, 4 inches tall,
so
like
small,
that big.
You could just like chug them down.
Yeah. Well, that was what you did. You pop it open. The
like
pop is also
It
was like and then all of a sudden you went like all the way down the hatch, and then you threw it away. But apparently she kept them because I guess they're souvenirs. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's weird. That's psycho behavior. But like that is funny. So you can do anything with your cheese puff gallon.
I'm not going to say her name though.
Yeah,
I should say her name though.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah,
I don't know if she's still with us.
Bottom line is those should be on this list. The cheese balls, not the mini M&M, over cheese puffs. Cheetos puffs are overrated for sure. Number 4 on the list, Cheez-Its, just plain regular Cheez-Its.
I could see that. I don't know if that's really a chip, but I could see that. I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do the bag test still. And when I do the bag test, and for the loyal listeners out there, the bag test, obviously what you know.
Classic.
And Jess still gets upset with me when I do the bag test in front of her.
Huh. That's weird. Why?
She says, seriously? And I'm like, what?
That's
like, I keep my hands clean.
The hands are clean. Yeah.
I'm hovering it over my mouth. So I'm not really touching the bag to my mouth in case you want some.
Right. Exactly.
And,
you're being considerate.
Yeah. And I get a couple mouthfuls and I eat it and I'm good. Like, I don't need to sit there and get my hands all dirty, then waste water and waste soap. It's like, I mean, I'm saving money.
No, Cheez-Its are great for the bag test because they're like perfectly shaped where they have a great trajectory coming out of the bags and the box usually. Usually with Cheez-Its, they come in the big old red box.
Oh, yeah.
That's very nice to work with when it comes to the box test. But there's a bag inside the box, so you could still call it a bag test.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cheez-Its, like you said, it's a classic. I'm never going to turn down a Cheez-It. They make all these various flavors, but honestly, like remember as seen on the show when they had the puffed, I mean those were freaking awful. A classic Cheez-It is the way to go. So I could see why they're in the top 5. Number 3 on the list. This is a Cerrone favorite, Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Those are really good, but I think the Doritos have surpassed them now.
Yeah, and they are not on the Flamin' Hot Doritos. I will tell you, are not in the top 10 here.
I'm not surprised.
I will see. Let's see where. Let me look. I'm scrolling
because that
down
dust
here.
is dusty.
Yeah. That's
they are
definitely a bag test.
It's like a dustpan.
Spicy nachos Doritos are at 28.
That's not even the same though, because they're not spicy. They're just extra nacho cheese on there basically, and it's like it's not really that spicy. Because like I'm telling you, the scorching buffalo Pringles. I'll take a picture and send it to you later. Like those, you have.
I'll buy them this weekend for sure.
Dude, they're so good to me. They're so damn good.
But yeah, Flamin' Hot Cheetos. So I'm a Flamin' Hot Cheeto guy. I'm notoriously I eat them in a bowl with a spoon, so I don't get the dust all over my fingers. It's weird, I know. Or the other method I use. Is I take a chip clip and I use that almost as a little like almost like chopsticks in a way. And you take the chip clip. You know what you use to close a bag, like to hold a bag of chips closed?
Yeah,
you,
that's
you
what we're going to use space.
You open it up, you grab a Cheeto with it, you pop it in your mouth, and you're good to go. I'll do that. You should
honestly get a chip clip and just label it as something.
Yeah.
Like label it as
this is my Cheeto clip. My Cheeto chip clip. But yeah, Flamin' Hot Cheetos are great. I mean, like you said, the Doritos, different method to get it, different shape, things like that. But a good Flamin' Hot Cheeto, a great combo is you get a nice ham and cheese sandwich, a nice cold ham and cheese sandwich, a well-made one at home, and you pair that with some Flamin' Hot Cheetos and like a blue Gatorade or something.
Oh man,
it is excellent.
You know what the funny thing is I think our generation was the last generation where a simple creative sandwich is all you need for lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, think about going to. I used to go to Algonquin golf course, and they had cool blue Gatorades, and again. My mom didn't buy a ton of Gatorades and stuff like that when I was growing up. Yeah. For sports or something. Okay,
there's some of those kids that like always had Gatorades like nonstop.
I'm like, how can you afford that?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm a Powerade guy.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like Powerade, but cool blue Gatorade, you can't get wrong with it. So the funny thing about it is going to Algonquin golf course. Me and my buddy used to always get cool blue Gatorades. And they'd have some type of like hot dog or something there, like a ham and cheese sandwich or something that was like gas station quality, but it was so good. I just don't get it. I mean, it was
nothing
just
wrong
amazing.
With that at all. No, I mean, again, there's has to be some good quality spongy bread. You throw in a couple nice layers of ham in there. You throw the cheese in there. If you want mayo, you throw that in there too. Sometimes even like. It's a few times in my life where like, I don't mind a little slice of lettuce in there. I don't mind a little cool crunch added to the mix. Obviously, like I don't have to have lettuce in there. I'm perfectly fine with no vegetables there. But I'm telling you, Flamin' Hot Cheetos pairs very well with a nice cold sandwich.
Cool blue Gatorade just goes along with everything.
Oh yeah, I feel like we're also one of the few generations that we used to just drink Gatorade like as a drink, like not for hydration for sports. It would just be like. this is my drink that I'm having.
We're in English class, so
Yeah.
we're just drinking Gatorade.
Yeah, I mean, those electrolytes. We were very hydrated. Number 2 on the list, Lay's barbecue potato chips. This feels a little high for me to be all the way at number 2.
Yeah.
It is a good chip. I'd say it's like one of the best that you can get from the Lay's group. It is one of my favorite barbecue chips. I like a good barbecue chip, and it is one of my favorites. Not the best, but one of my favorites. So 2 just seems high for me on this
Well,
list.
barbecue chips are just, I mean, you really have to get a real good barbecue chip.
Yeah.
Like there's mesquite barbecue. And like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm just over the barbecue chip. I think I'm
There's
just
a lot of
done
bad
with them.
ones. There's a lot of bad ones for sure. That's why I think like this is one of the ones that I will say like they do a nice job with it. Because otherwise, there's a ton of like pretenders. Yeah, like Lay's Hickory barbecue chip is on these lists
Right.
too, and it's like, I don't need that chip. Just give me the regular Lay's barbecue chip.
Yeah.
I get the barbecue dust on it or whatever.
We
that-
love dust.
I do love the dust. And then number 1 on the list is Doritos.
Okay.
is number 1.
Right. Yeah, let's be honest.
I get it. It is a great chip. It is hard to imagine a better chip than that. I will say again, one of my favorite chips ever is the Mama Zuma's Revenge chip from Route 29 chips or whatever those ones are called.
Mama Zuma's.
Mama Zuma's Revenge. I've ordered them in bulk from before. It is the best chip I've ever had in my life. It's a Route 11. It's one of those Route 11 chips they're called.
Okay.
Yeah, Mama Zuma's Revenge. It's got a hot girl on the front.
Oh,
and, it's well worth your time. So I'm
the
glad we spent
girl
this
or the
much time.
chips?
I mean, I'll take the chips over the girl. We will move into the final segment here today as I hit the music. And that is the Daily Dozen Trivia. Let me get the screen sharing going here. Give me one moment. Let's see here. As we'll see how we can do.
I wonder if I could take a nap to this music.
It is definitely nappable, if you will. Nappable. I think that's a word, right? All right. You can see my screen?
Scroll up just a little bit.
Well,
Just a tad.
that's going to be hard to do.
Okay, never mind. Leave it there.
Like this? Or do you mean like this?
Well, nothing changed. Just leave it there.
Okay. How's that?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Now it moved.
Okay.
Good.
All right, Daily Dozen Trivia. We've been very good at this recently. I am afraid of us failing here. NFL. This outside linebacker and edge rusher played for the Ravens from 2003 through 2018 and was a 2011 Defensive Player of the Year.
That would be, I believe,
Is it
Terrell Suggs.
That's who I was thinking. Okay.
Walt Suggs.
Yeah, Lee Suggs. There we go. MLB in 1988, Oral Hershiser set an MLB record. Okay, so Hershiser, I believe, was a Dodger. All this World Series MVP and all this stuff. I'm pretty sure he was a Dodger. Like that was his thing. I'm nervous about pressing select, but let's just do it. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perry Jones III, Quincy Acey, and Pierre Jackson led this Big 12 school to the 2012 Elite Eight.
I believe that was Baylor.
Quincy Acey and Baylor seems right. And
this
Perry
was-
Jones. Perry Jones sounds like Baylor too. Yeah,
I believe
okay.
that's when I picked him to win the whole thing, and I think
yeah?
they lost in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, they lost to Kentucky. Yeah.
Rough.
All right. This would be Dickens.
Christmas Carol,
Christmas Carol.
Oliver Twist.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I should read it for the podcast listeners. Yeah. Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, and A Tale of Two Cities were stories written by what English novelist? This is Charles Dickens. Celebrity mashup. Okay. Jimmy Kimmel in the middle.
Definitely.
And is
that
that Bale?
Christian Bale?
Yeah,
I was gonna say
there.
Christian
See,
Bale.
yeah, you knew it. You knew it too.
I'm getting better at it because now I'm starting to do them. So yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, that's a combined effort there. Okay, well, dude, we're in good shape here. All right, beverages. In what U.S. state was Coca-Cola? This is Atlanta. So Georgia. Yeah, Coca-Cola is Georgia. Sorry, I got to read the full question for everybody else. I'm a very fast reader. All right, Tool Time. Hey! Tool Time was the name of the show within a show on this ABC sitcom from 81 or 91 through 99. Home Improvement. Great
Dude,
show.
I will say Tim Allen, so underrated.
I mean, and Home Improvement honestly is very underrated. Like you can go back and watch like any random episode of Home Improvement and have a good time. Another one, Everybody Loves Raymond honestly is very underrated too. Like
That's my favorite.
I love that
show.
show.
That's my favorite show of all time.
It is one of the funniest sitcoms you could ever watch.
She ate a fly.
It's the best. It's the best. Movies. John Cena, Leslie Mann, and Ike Barinholtz play parents who try and stop their kids from losing their virginity on prom night in this 2018 comedy. Tip: we used PG-13 version of title.
So that would be.
This is
it's cock blockers, but it's.
It's just called like blockers, right? Isn't it? Yeah. Good pull. Good. I had no idea.
Thanks.
It sounds like a really bad movie.
I don't think I might have seen it, but I'm not sure.
We're 8 for 8 right now, heading into music. This female singer-songwriter released multiple hits in the 2000s, including "Everywhere," "All You Wanted," and "Are You Happy Now?" Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking about it. Think about it real quick.
Yeah. Take your time.
2000s.
2000s.
You're out. You don't know.
No. Well, I'm not.
Oh,
no,
you
I'm
take
thinking
your time.
too.
I'm like, oh boy.
Well, yeah. I don't have.
Okay.
An immediate name.
I'm thinking.
"Everywhere," "All You Wanted," and "Are You Happy Now?"
It can't be Ashley Simpson because we had her in one of the recent ones.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it's Ashley.
I feel like it's not Avril Lavigne because they would use a different one.
Right. I don't think it's Avril.
I'm thinking it's Mandy Moore.
Interesting.
It's because you're everywhere to me.
Isn't that like
when I close my eyes?
Isn't that
everything?
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of throws a wrench in the system here.
So it's a female singer-songwriter. Multiple hits in the 2000s. But you're on the right track with the names you're throwing out there. Because we're talking about 2000s. Which is like, an Avril. It's not Britney.
No, not Christina Aguilera.
It's not Christina Aguilera, yeah. Like
because these are including. It means like these are the top ones.
Yeah. Are You Happy Now? I mean, that seems very like angsty.
I'm thinking I keep thinking of songs and I'm thinking of those lyrics. All You Wanted.
It's not Pink. I don't think.
I have a feeling it's Mandy Moore because I don't know a lot of her songs.
I mean, we can always double dip, which is what we did last time. So, like, if we wanted to start, that's not even. It's not even coming up as an option.
Type in Moore. See if.
Yeah. So that's not.
What the hell?
Yeah. So okay. So throw Mandy Moore out of the.
Why is it not? Okay.
Everywhere, All You Wanted, and Are You Happy Now? Are you happy? So yeah, this is like ballad type territory here.
I mean, is
Everywhere, All You Wanted. I know you're right though. That Everywhere title, it seems so familiar to me.
Because you're everywhere.
That's not the song. But yeah, you're on the right track. It's not like it's not Ashley Simpson. It's probably not Jessica Simpson.
Because again, like I said, you have to figure that they're doing the main hits, and if we don't know any of these, they're not going to.
Is it like Ashanti or something, or like
Alicia Keys or something
Alicia
like that?
Keys? Yeah, I don't. I feel like these titles would hit me. Like I feel like I would recognize like Alicia Keys everywhere. It's not like Colby Calais or whatever, or the other one. What was her name? Whatever. I'm losing my mind here. God, are we really going to go 8 for 9 because of this?
Well, we got to have one guess first.
Yeah, we need a guess.
What about Jennifer Hudson?
That's not a bad guess. Let's just do it. Let's just throw it out there. That's not even coming up. Let me try Hudson.
Are these people not even alive? Like, what is happening here?
I guess it's not. So the American Idol route is not a bad route because American Idol, especially in the 2000s, was huge. I don't think it's Kelly Clarkson. But
in
Jennifer,
the 2000s.
Jennifer Hudson was not a bad
all the
guess.
way to the 2000s.
Yeah, so we're talking about the year 2000 to 2009. Who else in the female side of things was big around that time? Like out of the American Idol scene. So yeah, Jennifer Hudson was one. Who was the other?
Fantasia?
Fantasia? I mean, that's not a bad guess, honestly. Let's just try it. Fantasia? Okay, so we're wrong. So we'll try double dipping.
This sucks.
This is rough. This is because we're gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna.
Because you're every.
No, I don't want to do Kelly Clarkson because she's had so many other hits that we would have heard of.
I just saw when you typed in Kelly, it's Kelly Rowland.
Yeah, could it be like a
Because I feel like when it says like multiple hits, so it has to be someone that has done.
Oh yeah, it's somebody who it's a name. It's like a well-known.
It's not
name.
like the girl who sings Milkshake.
Right. No, it's definitely somebody who's like a legit hit here, and she's a singer-songwriter, so she's like a solo act here. Are you happy now? And it's not. We're gonna take all day. It's not like Nelly Furtado, right?
Nah, she was a supporting person or whatever. For the most part.
Right. It's not like Shania Twain.
No,
It's not.
Country. It could be in the country route.
That's the thing. It doesn't say like pop singer. Everywhere all you want. It's not Sheryl Crow, right?
It could be Sheryl Crow.
I mean, I don't have a better guess. No. What was it? Why
you got click off of it.
Oh. Michelle Branch.
Who cares about Michelle Branch? She's not even one seat of branches.
Show stats. Only 32% got the music one. College basketball we did well on. I mean, that's a low percent. Celebrity mashup, really? That many people didn't get. Maybe because it was kind of a weird photo of Christian Bale, I guess, in the background. But like, we did good on this one. This was. I know 8 for 9. It's not perfect, but I still feel like we did. But yeah, Michelle Branch. I guess I just haven't listened to that much Michelle Branch, unfortunately.
Michelle Branch is like I said, she's not even somebody that even popped in my mind.
Yeah, I know. That's a rough one. But hey, we 8 for 9. I still think is better. I mean, I didn't see the percentages.
Like if they would have said something like, for instance, oh yeah, she's an R&B singer.
Yeah, they gave us
like
nothing genre wise.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's somebody in one decade who hit a couple hits.
So the stats on this, by the way, are 52,000 people have completed it, 52,887. So basically almost 53,000, 2,000 perfect games. So,
yeah.
The average
that's
score
one of the lowest.
5. Yeah.
That's one of the lowest. I mean, I think the lowest that I ever saw so far was the solo show that I did by myself.
Yeah.
Which honestly was atrocious because I believe I had like 3 or 4 right, and that was a stretch.
Yeah.
And I think they had only triple digits got perfect scores out of 70,000+. I think there was only like 600 perfect brackets or whatever. It was one. Dude, it was insane.
That's a tough one. But hey,
thanks a lot, Kenny Pickett.
8 for
by
9.
the way.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett screwed up our whatever. We're gonna reset for Thursday.
Yep.
Look out for that video. Again, follow us on Twitter at the DC Crossover, and that's around 16. And then on TikTok, DC Crossover Podcast. We'll be updating you guys on picks and things like that on there heading into Thursday night football. So that'll be fun. Besides that, we'll see you guys next time. This has been another episode of the DC Crossover. The beautiful sounds of John Z, football
like
reporter. Sing it loud and proud, you little troll. Now he doesn't know what to do.